Malta's temples are older than the pyramids, and the legends haunting them are vanishing. Dusk apparitions, storm-predicting sea spirits, glowing symbols carved into stone 5,000 years ago. Ancient Maltese legends. Nobody talks about, and they begin at the threshold. On Gozo, the oldest standing stone temples in Europe rise from the earth, massive limestone blocks stacked by hands long vanished. Locals call this place Gantija, the Tower of Giants, but the stones themselves are only half the story. Parish records from the late 1800s, now locked away in the National Archives, mention a figure who appears at the southern lintel as the sky fades, a white lady veiled in pale light, standing silent at the gateway. Witnesses describe a sudden chill and a feeling that time stops at the threshold. Some say she gestures toward the altar stone, warning the curious to turn back. The lintel where she appears forms the main entrance, two upright slabs, capped by a third, weathered by centuries of wind. In the village, elders still whisper that no one dares cross at dusk. One Gozo elder, his voice rough with age, recalls hearing footsteps among the standing stones when the sun dipped low. She watches, always at the doorway, never inside. The story is more than a ghost tale. It draws a line between sacred and profane, echoing the way the temple's architecture controls who enters and who stays outside. Every threshold, every joint in the stonework, becomes a boundary not just of space, but of belonging. In Gantija, the monumental stones invite more than admiration. They demand respect, and perhaps a little fear. Each landscape zone, it is said, has its own custodian. Here, at the oldest threshold of all, the White Lady keeps her silent vigil. Storms hammer Dingley's cliffs, but fishermen rely on omens, not forecasts. They watch for Il-Qadisa Zagwal, the sacred one, whose blue flame flickers above the water before the wind turns. An 1889 log from the Gansielem Fishermen's Guild records. When the wind howls, the light of Il-Qadisa is seen as a blue flame dancing over the water. Those who ignore it suffer loss. That night, a glowing figure appeared on the cliffs, and by dawn a boat had capsized below. Before every departure, crews chant, Pagodu ta Il-Qadisa, Il Bort Majajix. In the sacred one's wake, the boat shall not sink. One Dingley fisherman told a parish clerk, if you see the blue light and turn back, you live. If you laugh at it, the sea takes what it wants. In Dwedra's lagoon, the Lady of the Sea, Ilmara Tal Bahar, sings from the caves. Her voice is a warning, and when her song sharpens, fishermen row for shore. On Camino, midsummer brings flickering lights over the salt pans. Locals call them Zagwal Tal Ilma, sea children, tiny spirits seen as phosphorescent sparks. Royal Navy logs from 1867 mention fairy-like children of the sea, and warn that mocking them brings disaster. These legends are survival codes, blending ritual and memory. The sea's omens, the blue flames, the chants, the glowing pools still shape the lives of those who work these waters. Only 15 people at a time are allowed into the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum. The air is monitored, the lighting kept dim, and every step is measured. Dr. Emma Caruana, a Heritage Malta conservation officer, explains that even a few extra breaths can threaten the ancient pigments and carvings sealed inside. In this carefully guarded silence, the sleeping lady rests, a limestone figure just 8 centimeters long, found in the deepest burial chamber. Her curled form has sparked endless debate. Is she a symbol of eternal sleep, or a guide between worlds? Staff and guides whisper about a masked attendant, an unseen figure glimpsed at the chamber thresholds, neither spirit nor flesh, always near the thickest air and sealed doors. At Tarsian, similar stories surface, masked shapes at the threshold stones where the living meet the ancestors. Restricted access and ritual secrecy keep these shadows alive. Spirals carved into the limestone of Menajdra and Hagar Chim have sparked wild stories. Some claim these symbols glow at night, acting as runes for lost rituals or hidden powers. But a closer look reveals something even more remarkable. Along the south sanctuary at Menajdra, a double spiral stretches over a meter wide, its arms precisely aligned to catch the first light of the winter solstice sunrise. On the central platform, another spiral marks the moment when the midsummer sun stands at its highest, a natural calendar set in stone. At Hagar Cheam, a single spiral sits on the east wing lintel, catching the equinox sunrise. Each carving ties to the movement of the sun, not to any supernatural glow. Dr. Maria Vella, a rock art specialist, explains that these motifs are not random decorations. They are the memory devices of a society ruled by the sky. Their placement encodes the timing of rituals and the passage of seasons. Scientific surveys confirm there is no phosphorescence in the limestone. The so-called glow is a trick of dawn or moonlight skimming shallow grooves, not magic. Professor Anthony Bonanno, whose research anchors the dating of these temples, says the spiral symbols at Najdra and Hagar Cheam belong to the Neolithic, between 3,600 and 2,500 BCE. He says they prove that Malta's earliest builders were astronomers as much as stonemasons. What survives is not a code for the supernatural, but a calendar in stone, one that still marks the turning of the year thousands of years on. Malta's oldest legends still haunt the stone and sea, invisible but not gone. As modern life erases ancient whispers, what mysteries slip through our fingers, still waiting to be rediscovered? Share your thoughts below.